Hi, welcome to the garden, and today we're going to be trying to get started on clearing out the tomato plants. As you can see when you look through here, I mean, some of the plants are still kind of alive, but they're not putting any new stuff on. We're not seeing any new blooms or anything happening. Almost all these are split that you see out here. So now we got to remove what we put in earlier. So the things to remember, I got to remember to put up all these here, and I put those over here. There's my tags that identify with them. The other thing you got to take out, since we had the Florida weave, I got to take out all these, and that's not as easy as you think. But you come up to each T-post and just cut them off. And you got to pull all these wires because you don't want to start that lawnmower and take these things up. That causes problems. So go ahead and fix that before you ever get started. Now you might be worrying about snakes. I never worry about snakes because it doesn't do any good. You worry about snakes when they show up. And then you scream like a little girl. I'm not deathly afraid of snakes. I will leave snakes alone as long as they're not poisonous. They do a lot of good in the garden, rather than make you hurt yourself trying to get away from them. So I'm not the person. I see a snake, we got to kill it. But I'm still not the person either. Let's go out there and try to play with the snakes. I think I'm through with that. That thing you want to watch out for, like this fire ants right here. You'll see those around. And not so much, just remember where they're at if you can so you can poison them. This one's just outside the garden, technically. And really, there's nothing growing here that we're going to be harvesting for a while, so I'll probably actually use this around. Or I have been kicking around. And it is a regular, imported fire ant mound. Sometimes you have people say, well, there's native fire ants. Well, yeah, I'm not worried about the native ones. I'm worried about the ones that tear you apart. So we'll have to fix that too. Then we're going to come back on this end. And I'll tell you, if you don't have a T-post driver, and you're driving over just 3 or 4 T-posts, it's worth the well, it used to be $45 before the politicians decided to make everything more affordable, and now it's up to about $65, I think, last I looked. But $45, $65, it's worth it. Just you don't want to, you can take and hammer these things in really pretty easy. You can do it yourself. You don't have to, if you can get it, it helps to have another person just because you lay them down and put them up, you drive them in. One problem I have with using the T-post driver is find them after you're through, because a lot of times you drive something in, and after you do that, then you just kind of lay that aside because they're heavy. Now this is a T-post puller, and I'm on the wrong side, but it doesn't really matter. And I didn't pull that one out, did I? The main thing, you just don't want to get that. If that gets caught in the blade, it can cause a lot of problems. And they've been out here long enough, there's not really going to be able to reuse them. So here, you just stick this here. Now, I will admit, I've got a sandy loam here. They pull out fairly easy anyway. Still, this is a big, especially when you drive me as far as this is driven in. And you just pull them up. Now, if you're in tight clay, they're not going to pull out quite as easy, but that's still better than taking that sucker, doing like this for 10 minutes till you get it, because it gets this thing underneath the, that's going to catch on clods and dirt and everything else. It just doesn't work very well. But now we go through here. I see what I did. You get too, it hung up on that plate there. I have to come back and pick those up, I guess. And this just cost about, at the time, cost me $45 a couple of years ago. Like I say, with all the tariffs and stuff they put on stuff, or supposed tariffs, I'm not sure exactly what these cost now. I know they keep saying that. I'm just gonna lay it down. The stuff's not going up, everything's cheap. I kind of get offended by that, because you know I go to the store and buy a lot of stuff, groceries and stuff, and I know how much stuff used to cost, and I don't care what the inflation rate says. Before we started doing all this, gas was $2.29 a gallon. It went to $2.39 a gallon, and we decided to bomb somebody. It went to $3.59. And now they say, well, gas is going down because it's at $3.29. That's still $1 more than what I was paying before. And you know, my salary or whatever, and other people's salaries really haven't went up any that I know of. And they're leaving, in case you don't know, I'm getting a little political because I'm just trying to fill in space. But, you know, they always got that inflation rate they always talk about. Most of the time it doesn't include fuel and food, because that's, you know, let's set this right over here. Remember to pick it up because you can't remember what you did. And I am kind of looking to see if I see anything that I need to pick up. And like I say, you get that stuff wrapped around the lawnmower blade, it kind of screws things up. I'm wearing sweats today because we're going to church tonight. It's Wednesday. And I didn't want to come out here and work, get all sweaty, and have to change clothes again and go to church. So I just stayed sweaty. And I took a shower yesterday. Okay. Now if you want to stand back over there a little bit. This here is an electric lawnmower, and it's the Ego, and it's one of the more expensive ones they had. I think it cost me $650 or $750 on sale, something like that. Had 2 batteries to it. You push this still here down, then you pull that in. And you may think, will it cut this? Well, we'll find out. I do have it on setting to 6. Goes up to 8. Okay, and the other thing I'm going to do, since this is on a 6, I'm going to lower it down to a 4, go back down it, so to cut it closer to the ground. Okay, so I'll continue to do this and mow it down as far as I can. Then I'll bring the tiller in here and till it up, kill the weeds. Some people would spray that with Roundup. I've done it in the past when it got this bad, but I got watermelons growing over here, so I want to kill the watermelons. So I won't be doing that. And I'll pull these up here and I'll move that away. I will look and see if there's any tomatoes that I can try to salvage. Maybe I won't talk so loud now. And you know, if I got one that I'm not really seeing any, but if I see any, I think, hey, that might survive if I sprayed or whatever. But we had so much rain, and you know, we had one day it rained for like 36 hours straight, and that just lets this fungus stuff goes crazy. And I don't spray mine. Not so much I'm against it. It's just if you're going to start trying to spray this stuff, you really need to do it as soon as you plant it and continue to spray on fungal diseases for most of them. And if you wait till later, it usually is not effective because the fungus is already on the plant. So, and also I didn't put any mulch underneath the plants. And like I say, a lot of these here split. So you're saying, well, there's a lot of waste. Well, they split, and there is a lot of waste on this. But then there's supposed to be some people out here picking this stuff, and they weren't able to make it out. So just had way more tomatoes than what I needed, but that's okay. I mean, it's my garden. So and we did put up a lot of you know, enchilada sauce, and we made up the regular tomatoes, you know, the crushed tomatoes. We made lots of salsa, some successful, some put a little too much green stuff in it. But that's how you know which one you like. You got to play with it and figure it out. That's what I was telling my wife, because she was kind of hesitant to do the salsa. I said, we're going to try it, you know, and we're not costing us anything. So we'll try it, see how we like it, and we'll kind of figure it out. I did start roasting the stuff. I think roasting's better and easier, and it gets rid of a lot more of the juice. So I did use the paste tomatoes for that. And I did the banana legs and the tashi and all those. But even these were up off the ground, and these looked ripe and all that, but once that rain hit them, you know, they went to nothing. I could have picked a bunch more off this one. I like cages better than I liked, you know, these cages I liked a lot better than I do like the Florida weave. I just don't keep up with it. If you can keep up with it, it's a good method. It really is. Not knocking the method, I'm just, my way of doing it just doesn't work very well. Anyway, my son is sweating pretty bad. He didn't put on a cap. I did. You wear caps in this area solely to keep not to keep the sun off of you, just to keep the sweat out of your eyes. But anyway, that's one thing I learned, because when I was in West Texas, I didn't didn't understand why people was always wearing sweatbands and all this other stuff, because you didn't really need them. You wear a hat sometimes to keep the sun off of you. But down here, even if it's a cloudy day, if it's hot, you're going to have to wear a cap, or that sweat gets in your eyes and starts burning. It doesn't feel good. But anyway, I'll continue to work on this for another little bit. You'd think I would say an hour, but no, it's been more like 5-10 minutes. But it's hot, and try to get all these. I'll get those picked up and probably get these here done. And then I start working the cages tomorrow, the next day. But anyway, thanks for watching. It's hot. Stay hydrated. You know, don't stay out too long. If you're in Texas, it's short. You know, this is a brutal part of the year. Work 10 or 15 minutes, go in, get cooled off, get you some water, and then come back out and work again. Don't try to sit there and work here outside for an hour during the afternoons. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye.